Yo, mic check, mic check. I'd like to give all glory to God, our Father who's art in heaven. Just bless all the TIs out there, as well as all the perpetrators. And just gonna start by saying, we do this not for the praises of men, but for your glory, Lord. Not so we can get views or comments, but for your glory, because it's the right thing to do. And I just wanted to say today, just speak up about whatever you're going through. I mean, no matter how scared you are, no matter, what they threaten you with, because they already threaten your life. I mean, basically anybody that's been put on this list, it's pretty much over. Whoever put you on this list, you know, they pretty much said, hey, you know, your life is over with. It's pretty much done. They just sentence you to like, a life of just torment. So all you can do is just speak up. And when Christ, and I mean, just like I said, thank God that you're a TI because you're different than everybody else. There's a reason why they're messing with you because you're different in your own unique way. I mean, you stood out enough so that they could do something like this to you. So they spending all this money on you, following you around, for no reason at all. They're just so interested in watching you, or watching us, I should say. It's just crazy. But what I wanted to say is, just speak up about whatever you're going through, because when Christ came to earth, man, he could have came to earth and he could have got along with everybody. You know, he could have got along with the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and just go along with what they wanted to do. And he probably could have even, you know, I don't want to say probably. He would have done it. He could have gotten the top. He would have gotten the top spot in the temples and the synagogue. This is Jesus Christ, but that's not what he came here to do. He didn't come to be buddy buddy and friendly with everybody. He came to do the will of the Father. He can't. That's what he came for, and he did that. The whole goal was to, you know, shed his blood, so what you call it? Our sins could be forgiven, because we were just damned. He loved us that much that he had to do that, and just break away from the religion. And he came. He spoke boldly, and he was unapologetic. And he ended up being a gangster too. He was a Ti. Christ was special, man. He was special. Look what he was doing. He was feeding the flock, raising the dead, preaching the gospel, telling the truth. He became a threat to the powers that be because the people started following and listening to him. And that's the thing. When you gain a following, then that sometimes they don't really care if you're speaking. If nobody's listening to you, They don't care. But when you really start gaining a following, like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, that's when you become a threat to them. That's when you become a threat. That's when they're ready to take you out. And Christ, he did that. So don't be afraid to speak up. Fear not your life unto death, because you're gonna die anyway. It's gonna happen. Don't be so afraid where you're not gonna say anything about your situation, about your story. You know, Sometimes maybe you might need some time, but just don't be afraid to tell your story. Because I know I didn't want to do it at first, but then I said, hey, well, what's the point of me just keeping my mouth shut when I can help somebody else, just like others have helped me. Like I said, you're already being persecuted. It's nothing you could lose at this point as far as being a TI. So I just say, man, just speak up, continue to spread that word, because they don't want the masses to wake up. I mean, like I just can't believe. I mean, and I was part of that group too. That group that was just so dumbed down at one point and not not caring about this kind of stuff. But I woke up, man, and most people don't wake up. They don't wake up. They just live their lives like this, and they don't realize what's going on. They don't realize that there is a God. You know, they don't realize that there is life after this, or there is a spiritual realm after this. We will have to answer to everything that we did in this life after we're gone. And they want to keep us dumbed down because if we wake up, man, judgment hastens. It hastens judgment for them. So that's why they spend so much money on entertainment, because it hastens judgment for them. They spend so much money on entertainment, not because it hastens judgment. So much money on entertainment because to keep us dumbed down. Because we wake up, it will hasten judgment. So at the end of the day, man, we just gotta spread the word. But I mean, we all know that everybody's not gonna make it, though. That's especially why you need to spread the word, because we know that everybody's not gonna make it. He said, as many as the sands of the as many as the sand in the sea are gonna perish. I mean, that's a lot, man. I mean, you just picked up a scoop of sandwich in your hand. I mean, that's a lot of grains. I mean, like each individual, that's a lot. I mean, and he said as many as the sands in the seas. Like, can you think about that? So we know that everybody's not making it. That's why it's even more important to spread the word, because, I mean, Christ knows when he's gonna throw that censer down and seal everybody. Like, hey, this is it. He knows this is it. It's no more after this. So it's even more important to spread the word, because we know everybody's not gonna make it. So once that select group, gets that seal, then the judgment is going to hasten. It's going to hasten judgment. But just continue to not be silent, man. Because I mean, they want you to be silent, man. And I know sometimes, like, they're hitting you with this direct energy and these weapons, man. Like, and you just wanna you just want to not be hit with those stuffs no more, man. You just want to, like, hey, man, let's keep our mouth shut. Just go through it, you know, the rest of my life. But that's the coward way out, man. Because Christ, like I said, he could have took the devil's offer. He could have taken Satan's offer up when he took him up on that mountain and showed him all the kingdoms. He didn't do it though. You know. I mean, he didn't do it. I mean, like, I mean, what? Because he knew the glory that was gonna come after. Like, Satan don't promise you rags, man. Like, it just seems like he's giving you a lot at that time. But like, what Christ was gonna obtain, it's not. You can't compare it to what Satan was giving it to. Like, think about the glory that Christ gave after he ascended into the heavenly realm. After he ascended back up into heaven, after he was crucified. That glory that he probably got from, the Father, the angels just praising him. And he's governing over everything now. That's the top dog. That's the Messiah. Versus to what Satan was gonna give him, if he cowered and submitted to him. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And it's kind of like, and then it's kind of like when these gang stalkers try to recruit you, they offering you rags, man, versus what Christ is gonna give you in the end. That reward at the end that's waiting for us if we just be patient and hold on. It's gonna be greater than what these Satan is gonna give you. It's the same thing. The same thing Christ went through is what we're going through right now. It's like Satan came to recruit him onto his side. He was being stalked. He was being followed. He was persecuted for speaking the truth. He died. For the cause. He was different. The world hated him. Of course, it was certain people that liked him. He didn't have a lot of friends. He had his little 12 guys that was with him. One of them was a traitor. The same thing we're going through, the betrayal. The loneliness. Christ was, he was kind of a loner too. He stayed to himself. He went prayed. He wasn't. He wasn't really a people person. Like, yeah, he went out there. He helped the poor, and he did his works. But he knew their hearts, though. That's why he stayed to himself. He was very selective of who he stayed around, and he had certain people that was around him because he knew the hearts of these men. He knew he could read their minds. That's why he pretty much had his clique, and he did what he had to do, and he left. But we going through the same thing he went through. Yeah. Don't fall, man. Don't fall to this temptation, because I could tell you what, these guys will come. They're gonna come to recruit you, man. They're gonna come to recruit you. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. You gotta hold on. No matter who turns their back on you, And honestly, I see now that, with this persecution I'm going through, only had one real person in my corner the whole time. One, you know, and now that person knows who she is, man. All, I mean, one. Everybody else is a, you know what I mean? Yeah, bunch of fakers, bro. You know, we see it, man. You know, and I seen the fakeness in them. I seen the fakeness in them. I seen the resentment, but I just was like, you know, I just ignored it. I just ignored it, bro. But I need to start trusting my instincts more when it comes to like, you know, whenever I feel it. But you know, like the only thing that is with that, you know, you feel it, but you don't want to. You want to give that person a chance, though, and that's the thing that screws. You know what I mean, screws me over in the end. It's just that, you know, just give him that, see what he do. You know, because you never know. But you never know. But you already know. But you never know. That's what screws me over. Just giving people that chance to show themselves. You know, and you know you showed yourself. You know, and it was what I thought it was. It was what I thought it was. So, you know, I don't got nothing to do with anybody like that no more. Yeah. Yep. It is what it is, man. Yeah, we just give you, that's it, man. I was at a loss for words. You guys have a good night.